Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly Magic News Update for November 19th, 2017 on the Leek. I'm John as always, and it was a quiet news week because we were flooded with unstable spoilers. I'm not going to go over all the spoilers because there's just way too many of them. I think we're at 92 right now, but what we can do is go over the mechanics of unstable. Last week we talked about the contraption that was revealed, and I was basically correct in my guess that you'll assign contraptions to a sprocket, and then every 3 turns that contraption will activate. We learned a little bit more though, that you will build a separate contraptions deck out of what you drafted, or if you're playing constructed, you can have 15 contraptions in your deck. Now that deck lives entirely outside of the game, you don't interact with that deck, and when you assemble a contraption, you flip the top card and assign it to a sprocket. The contraptions do go onto the battlefield though, so they can be interacted with, destroyed, sacrificed, etc. It'll be a really interesting minigame though, building various engines to try to get the effect that you want when you want. Do you, do you set that contraption to trigger next turn so that you can get it, or is it actually better 2 turns from now based on what's on your hand? Do you pile contraptions on a single sprocket so that you get like 3 effects every 3 turns? Do you spread them out? It's going to be a really cool little minigame to figure out. The other main mechanic that we learned was hosts and augments. Host creatures are totally normal creatures other than the super type of host. The card itself does look a little bit weird. There's a split down, not the center exactly, but there's a split in the name and there's a split in the text box. You have a weird text box on the left and the rest of the text on the right, as you can see here with Adorable Kitten. When it enters the battlefield, you roll a die and gain a life. Totally normal creature. We other than the die roll, we would see this in a normal game of Magic. Later in the game, or that turn I guess, if you have the mana and the card, you can use an augment card and attach it to the host. It functions like an enchantment, but it covers up the left half of the host creature. So we could end up with a multi-headed kitten, which is a creature Hydra Cat. It gets +4/+4, as you can see in the multi-headed box in the bottom right-hand corner. So it's a 5/5. And like all hosts, it turns the ETB effect of the host creature into a repeating effect. In this case, at the beginning of your end step, if you rolled a die this turn, back to the kitten side, you roll a die and gain a life. Very cool mechanic, and like a lot of this set, it's something that doesn't really work in regular Magic, but with some finagling, it could someday work. I'm still super excited about this set. I've heard some complaints that there are, some very black bordered cards. There's a 2/1 that you sack and destroy an enchantment. And that's it. There's nothing funny about it. The funny is in the flavor text. And I'm fine with that. There's not that many, and if it makes the set more draftable, more cubable, then I'm totally sold. Definitely picking up a box, definitely working on streaming a draft. Up next is tangential Magic news. Desert Bus for Hope 2017 started on Friday. Desert Bus for Hope is a charity drive put on by Loading Ready Run. It's their 11th year, and they ostensibly play Desert Bus, the most boring game ever, for as long as people donate. Last year they went for 156 hours. But they don't just do that. There's a ton of skits and improv and random discussions and tons of giveaways and silent live auctions, which includes a whole bunch of Magic product donated by WotC. This year there's a ton of uncut sheets, including something I've never seen before, but obviously must exist, is uncut sheets of pre-constructed decks, namely the Commander 2011 decks. So you can actually get the entire Commander deck of Heavenly Inferno, for example, in an uncut sheet. They've given away a few of those. There's one being given away possibly before this video goes up, although it's going to be right around when this video goes up, and there's going to be a few more given away over the rest of this week. In addition to that, a tour of the WotC headquarters was auctioned off yesterday for $2,575. Aaron Forsyth is going to be calling in tonight, Sunday night, so definitely go check it out at twitch.tv/desertbus. It should be going on until about Thursday afternoon at least. Finally, in Magic Cards Can Be Expensive news, the first BGS 10 graded Black Lotus, the highest grade possible and basically impossible to achieve, was sold for $100,000. It's the most expensive single card ever sold on the open market. I would be shocked if on the private secret market anything was ever sold for more, but yeah. It's the most expensive Magic card ever sold. Obviously, being sealed in plastic for good, it's now a collector's piece and not really a playing piece anymore, but boy, someone must have really, really wanted a Black Lotus. Will this hold its price forever? I have no real way of knowing because it'll only hold its value as long as somebody wants it. And if there's a point where nobody wants a super awesome, perfectly graded Black Lotus, then it's going to be literally worthless. It will no longer be worth $100,000. I don't know. I feel at some point you'll run out of people who actually want this, and so the investment will be null. My advice for investing Magic cards, build a time machine. So that's going to wrap it up for the news this week. There honestly wasn't that much other than 92 unstable cards being spoiled. Definitely go check those out. Let me know what you think of the set. I'm super excited for it. I will be recording a live draft at least at my local game store, going over my picks, and I'm going to try to get some match highlights into that video. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I'm going to be doing a bunch of top 10 lists, and as I said, I'm hopefully going to be streaming live a draft, including matches with card recognition software, etc. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be in December. It might have to wait till January. We'll see how it works out. But let me know what you think of this week's news in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at facebook.com/themanaleek, twitch.tv/themanaleek, and patreon.com/themanaleek. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button, click subscribe if you want to see more, and if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.